and we'll get started. Okay.
Yeah. Awesome.
Since I'm a big advocate of respecting people in their time. So I'm honored that I got two sharp empress online. And so I thank you for joining us. Um, what we're doing today is we're setting up a weekly roundtable discussion on mindset, identity, and awareness. And the focus of what we're doing, it's going to be a weekly gathering where we will all come together and Freda and I, who are your hosts, we're going to talk on the topics of mindset as it relates to health and mindset as it relates to money and wealth. It's about bridging the gap between bringing health and wealth together because they go hand in hand. And a lot of times we don't connect the two. And it's important in connecting the two that our mindset is involved in this. And so that's what we're going to talk about, how the awareness that we have, our mind connection to money and wealth, our mind connection to health and wellness. And as we do this, the format is going to be set up so it's not you're going to be lectured. We're going to introduce a topic. We're going to talk about the topic, and then we're going to open it up that we're going to get to hear everybody's questions or their comments on it. And we're going to expound upon that. That's the whole concept of why this is a round table. And we want this to be set up so that you'll feel comfortable. This is your place to come to be able to pause, reflect, and learn and realign. That's how we want to set this up. So that's what this, what we call Mindset Thursday is going to be all about. So what I'm going to do first is I'll introduce myself to you, and then I'm going to pass the baton on to my co-host. I'm Njadika Olatunde. I am a health and wellness practitioner. That's what my background. My specialty and focus is on relieving pain first before treatment. And that's how I got into finding out as it relates to the number one cause of most people's health problems that they don't focus on is financial pain. And I address financial pain from the perspective of health and wellness. And that's what my topic will be about each week. I'll be presenting an idea related to health as it relates to the pain that's connected to health based on the pain stress connection. So that will be my featured topic, and we'll all talk about it. And so on that note, I'm going to pass it on to Freda and let her introduce herself to you. And she's also going to talk about the mindset connection as well as the philosophy of what this is all about. Freda?
All right. Thank you, Sister Jideka. And my name is Frida, and my area of specialization is leadership. And from leadership, I focus on self-leadership. And the reason why I focused on leadership is, like Sister Jideka said, I realized that the mindset, of leadership in people, they always think about the organizations and the way they are structured. But when you lead yourself before you even have an organization or before you have a position, even when you're young, when you lead yourself, then you become even healthier because you're making healthier decisions. And then I found there was a correlation between a self-directed and self-led person and one who was not. Because when it came to beliefs, then they had beliefs that were collected rather than beliefs that they had experienced and decided for themselves. And then when we talked with Jideka, that's when we found that there is the pain of money and there is the pain of lack of clarity because you're not self-led. And that brings in poor decisions that cause stress. And then before you know it, because of stress, you are sick, you're making poor decisions, and your money is being spent in the wrong places. You could actually be spending it on health, or you could be spending it on binging whatever it is your mind at that particular point is telling you to binge on, rather than being a focused, self-led person who defines for themselves what success is, what health is, and especially on the topic of money, we are taught that money is bad. Rich people are bad. Money is the root of all evil. And yet, the whole economy is based on money. So if the whole economy is based on money, how is money bad? But if I can be a good person and make money good, and then, make the economy good, I could help millions of people just by that shift of my mind about and belief about what money is. So I'm not making money the drive in my life. It's a tool, it's a resource, like anything else. And so the philosophy behind what we are doing is to encourage people to talk about stuff that we don't usually talk about, not in our kitchens, not in our dining rooms, not in our churches. And yet, even in church, it's always give us the money, and yet money is evil. It's the root of all evil. So that contradiction has caused people a lot of pain, like, Jideka is saying, and that incongruence, that yin and yang, that seesaw effect also causes polarity. And when people are polarized, even our politics, even our conversations are also polarized. So you might be talking to someone and you notice your communication is breaking, but it's not because you both are not communicating effectively. It's because there is that, incongruence. You're coming from very different places without even being aware. So then I decided on self-leadership to focus on self-awareness. If you have pain, where is that pain coming from? Is it because of a belief you hold about something that is causing you that pain? And so with Sister Jideka, we decided, okay, there are so many things we could talk about when it comes to pain. Let's talk about the pain of money. And let's see how that, changes what people how people operate when it comes to money. Because one thing we found out was when it comes to financial literacy, it is like there's a deliberate structure system to keep people financially illiterate. And so we are not taught about it in school, we are not taught about it in church. And so it becomes quite a challenge. Hi, Collins. Welcome. So like I was saying, when it comes now to identifying what is the pain that, even if it's your child, even if it's your friend, what is the pain they're going through? And then when you break it down, then you realize, oh, wow, it was all about money. Because money, when it is not properly understood as a resource, as a tool, then we use it as a status symbol. And once we look at money as a status symbol, then if I don't have it, then now I'm going down on the scale of happiness. And when you go down on the scale of happiness, you're going to be sad, you might be frustrated, you might be angry, and you're not realizing you're doing all that because of that definition of what money is. So in America especially, money is always a status symbol. It's the one that is going to allow me get an education. It's the one that is going to allow me get a good house with a picket fence. Mine doesn't have a picket fence. So stuff like that. It's the one that is going to help me buy that car. Sometimes money is what is going to help you get that job. Because if you don't have a car and you can't, there's no bus to get you to that job that you're looking for, you might not get that job. And then when you don't have a job, then it cascades. You don't have all those other symbols of success. So two things we found out is the definition of money and the definition of success. And when you're thinking about success and you're thinking about, yeah, my balloons do that. So, and when you're thinking about success, when you think about success and you're thinking about it as the Joneses, you know, the way we say keeping up with the Joneses and the Kardashians. So, if you're looking at it from that position, then money becomes a symbol. Money becomes a definition of success. Money becomes a metric of success. And so for me, in self leadership, I unpack all that and I help people be open to see and understand that no, define success for yourself. And then have a clear understanding that money is a resource. And then most of your pains just start falling off. So that's me in a nutshell. Yes. So from there, thank you. From there, what we want to do is just let the audience ask questions. That will be the structure. Ask questions. And any question around money, well, we are not CPAs. So we won't be accepting questions because it's tax season about how to file that. No, we just want money beliefs, money as a resource, money as a tool. So that's that.
Thank you, Freda. Now what we're going to give you, like Freda gave you like a little bit, that's like a little introduction to what's you're in store for you in terms of at our weekly sessions that we're going to be talking about in detail and further detail. My topic will relate to helping you understand the pain-stress connection. Most people, when they're in pain, they do not connect the stress as being a contributing factor. And in order to deal with the healing process, you have to connect the mind body with the pain stress connection. And this is what my form of the presentation will be talking about. And we'll be going into great detail where I will be showing you some little examples and getting you to identify or relate to anything that's dealing with pain from a health perspective in terms of what was the stress contributor that led to the pain. And then once you start understanding that and seeing that with a clearer eye, then you're able to move into relieving what I call financial pain, which is related to health. And so that way, our whole focus is to have people to have the mindset awareness, the mindset understanding that you can leave each session with tools that you have defined for yourself based on information that you have learned and that you can put in practice in your everyday life to improve whatever it is you're looking for as it relates to health and as it relates to wealth. And so that's like the overall focus. One of the things that's going to happen each week when we do the presentations, we will do like we did. We'll do an opening. We'll focus on identifying topic. We won't talk about both topics every week. It'll be 1 week, it'll be the health piece, and 1 week it'll be the money and wealth piece. That's the way it'll be designed. And we'll throw out like key ideas, give some examples, and then we're going to open it up to the floor where we'll all just have an open conversation discussion in terms of our mindset as it relates to the topic, the featured topic of discussion. And it is our hope that each week that you will be able to grow mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and even financially with tools that you will be able to walk away with and share with others. Because this is about a movement. It's about us stepping up to the plate and deciding what role we want to play in making a difference in our communities, with our families, with the gifts and talents that we have been blessed to receive. And we're going to be about, the foundation is to be about supporting each other collectively and cooperatively in building wealth, so that we will move away from passing on generational poverty, in improving health. So we'll move away from passing on generational illness. So that's what this roundtable is really all about, helping us to establish a new path, to establish a new way of, as I still say, changing lives using our gifts and talents, which I call the power of touch. And on that note, what I am going to do is put a question out there to my guests. And the question is going to be, how do you connect or define mindset? So I'm going to start with Melanie. What is mindset to you?
It's a way that you have collectively decided to think. So it can be good or it can be bad. It depends on where you're coming from. It's a whole lot of different areas of mindset. So it's just not one particular area that you could talk about.
Okay.
So I'm enjoying what you guys are getting ready to talk about, because there's a lot of different ways all of this could take place and go in a lot of different areas depending on your mindset.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you, especially for opening it up like that. Thank you. Yeah, so I have to leave, and I apologize because I had another event today, but because it's weekly, I'll be here every week. So I'm not shutting down, so we'll continue. So Sister Judeka, you have both roles now.
Yeah, you leave me with all the emperors. Okay.
I know. So thank you so much, Sharon. Thank you so much, Melanie. Thank you so much, Collins. We'll see you next week.
All right.
Thank
I'll
you.
just take her place in the meantime, Jadika.
All right. Okay. Love it. All right, Sharon.
All right. Bye now.
Yeah, for me, when I think of mindset, it's kind of one of those things. It's broad, but then it's not. But it's broad mainly because there's so much information. But at the base, I would say at the basic level, mindset is pretty much how you think, and it drives you, because however you thinking, it drives your behaviors, it drives your rituals, it drives really of how you live. And there's so many different levels to it, but at the end, it's kind of one of those things. It's like we know it, but then when you asked it, it's like, oh, did I think about it in that way? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly, exactly. Thank you. Collins, do you have something you want to share as it relates to mindset? Can you share with us? Because yeah, Colin, you don't have your video on. Can you open up? Yeah, okay. Can you share with us?
I'm at work right now. I'm listening.
Okay.
I'm a student of Frida. I'm a new student.
All right. Okay, welcome.
As far as mindset, I'm thinking of my mindset, which led me so far. Thinking kind of, okay, I'm low income, I'm all that stuff. I'm not enough and everything. So the Frida has helped me to think bigger and
Okay.
have an open belief, and just
Yes.
open up about God and how God is, God is my source and everything. So he's been upgrading my software.
All right. All right.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing.
in terms of mindset, I'm thinking it's the way God destined you to be. God destined you to be victorious in every kind of way, and you just gotta walk in victory in whatever you're gonna do, and just walk step by step and just believe. And
Okay.
God is a source, and I'm gonna throw this question out there. I don't know if it's part of this or whatever, but I wanna ask. People always, some people always ask me if money wasn't an issue, what would you want to be doing? And I've always had a hard question answering that. So, and
Okay. If money wasn't the issue, what is it you'd be doing? Is that what you're asking?
yes, that's what people ask, and I don't know. I don't know the answer to that sometimes. Because I've been focusing on money all these years, and when somebody asks me that, I don't know what to say.
Okay, let me see. I'm going to ask my empresses up there. Melanie, how would you answer that?
I would be helping a lot of other people grow and scale their minds and their business or whatever they're doing in order to make them more proficient in what they do so they could just be all that God would have them to be. Because right now this is not what God intends for us to be, because we're so below the scale. We really have to start working on ourselves in order to be able to escalate to the level where God would have us.
All right. So in other words, one answer is if money wasn't an issue, whatever it is that you know how to do, and you'll be working on it to share with others. That's one point of view. Sharon, what's your point of view?
I hear you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that is definitely part of what I would say too. If money wasn't an issue, to be able to do the things that I was destined here to do without any limitation, and I would say, and travel. And it's almost like to think bigger and to truly be who I am without any limitations.
Thank you, Sharon. And my answer to that is also, we always have to understand that each of us has come here with a specific talent and gift. And when we discover what our talent and gift is, that's what we do, whether money's the issue or not. It's what you were, it's your place. It's your what you are to do in society. If it's to teach, if it's to say draw something, whatever it is that you love to do, and it's defined as your gift and talent, that's what you do, whether money's the issue or not. That's another way, to look at it as well.
I like that. Yeah. When my coach, when she's working on me, I tell her I don't have a money issue. Yes, I have a job that takes care of my bills and everything. I have a spiritual issue. Like I want to do what God destined me to do in this world. The money is not my problem. Is I just want to be if I want to be what God wants me to do on this earth. All the other stuff don't matter. Yes, I do have kids and everything, but I'm just saying that's the priority. And I'm trying to get
one of the things you want to think about, and I say this, we have to learn how to step out of the box. Don't structure yourself. Just step out the box and just be free at what you're doing in terms of don't overthink it. Just let it be. Let it be. And once you let it be, all the pieces will definitely start coming into play. Relax. Just relax about it.
Yeah, I'm relaxing. Yeah.
Okay, relax. Enjoy the ride. This is a journey. Just relax and enjoy it.
Okay.
Because you don't have to have answers to everything.
No, we don't. If we had answers to everything, we don't need God.
So what you do is you just enjoy the ride, and look at what comes, and whatever comes, enjoy it and make the most of it.
That's for sure. Yeah.
And that makes it easy. That takes the stress off of everything.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do now is, before I before I close out, because this was just to give you a little taste now of what it is we're going to be doing each and every Thursday. So you can put it on your calendar, fit it in. We'll be here every Thursday at 6 o'clock. The same, login information is what will be used. Share with your family and friends to come on and give them, because it's conversation style. It's not lecture. It's conversation style. We're all going to hear everybody's insight, because each of us are able to help each other. Because just as I share and I hear you all share, I'm in the learning too. So this is like our learning time. We all will learn and bless each other. That's the whole focus of what this is all about. And before I leave, Melanie, where are you located?
Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay, Charleston. Sharon, I think you're in
Charlotte.
Right. I know, that's what I was saying. I know that you all were sisters in terms of areas of location. Collins, where are you located?
I am in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And
Okay, you're in Michigan. Okay. All right. So that's what I was trying to remember, because I didn't remember when I saw that you had Charlotte. I was trying to think. I said, I know Melanie's one of those. So it's South Carolina. Gotcha, dear.
I'm in the right group because I'm in a group of strong Black women. I'm in the right group.
Yes, you are. Most definitely. Definitely. Well, I'll let everybody know. For those of you who don't know, I'm in what I call stress capital USA, aka Washington, D.C. So that's where I come to you from. And so that's the reason why I deal with pain and stress. I work on that because it's the basis of all the stress that comes to you all starts here. So you got a front runner, so I can help you all. I'm going to help you all to avoid the stress from trickling down to your area, because remember, it starts here and then it moves out. So on that note, I'm going to say thank you for giving Fred and I your time this evening. And I look forward to you joining whenever you can on a Thursday. Know that Thursday at 6 o'clock, we'll be here with a topic. It'll either be on the health mindset, or it's going to be on the wealth mindset. And I do believe next week we're going to open it up with the money and wealth mindset. That will be the topic of discussion for next week's roundtable. So on that note, to each and every one of you, once again, my heart is filled. I say thank you for joining us and being our first kickoff for our first session here. So they know all of you all are special, because you all can say, I was here at the beginning. And so that gives, and your energy is what's going to be empowering us. And I'm so grateful and thankful for all of you all. So on that note, everybody have a wonderful and fantastic week for the remainder. And I look forward to us coming back together in fellowship on next Thursday at 6 o'clock. Have a good one, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.